I lost my memory of my husband. Is it wrong that I don't care that he had an affair with my best friend? I lost my memory of my husband. Is it bad that I don't care that he had an affair with my best friend? So, hi. Sorry if this is a long one or if it goes on a tangent. I didn't want this on my main since I want this to be anonymous. It's a lot to explain, so I'll just give my POV from a month ago first. So a month ago, it was my birthday. My friends threw a surprise party for me, and to my memory, it was amazing. I had a lot of fun. They had an amazing cake with Pedro Pascal on it, celebrity crush, and it was just all in all a good time, or so I thought. I woke up at around early hours, passed out in a park near my house. Honestly, I didn't think anything too weird about it, just assumed I slipped away and tried to walk home drunk and ended up falling asleep. This has happened before on nights out, unfortunately. I'm a lightweight, so normally my friends watch me in case I run off somewhere. I just assumed they didn't, no biggie. I was on a park bench, had a massive headache and just felt tired. I was making my way out of the park when I saw that my car was parked outside. Immediate confusion. I don't drink and drive, ever. And I was mortified at the idea that I could have done something like that. The walk home was only about 10 minutes, so I decided to just leave my car and walk back since I didn't want to risk anything as I was feeling groggy. Got home, immediately crashed and took a power nap up until 10 to 11 a.m. Slept like a goddamn log and I woke up feeling amazing. Like, weirdly good after a night of what I thought was hours of drinking. I felt happy, energetic, it just felt like a great day. So I went to take a shower since I still had the clothes I wore to my party, and I noticed my makeup had stained all down my face. Okay, weird. Again, I just assumed something stupid made me cry during the night and that's why, no biggie. I did my morning routine, shower, skincare, everything I normally do. It was a really sunny day, which just felt like it added to how perfect everything was from the night before, so I did some makeup and decided to go out and get some breakfast at a cafe near my house. The plan was to also pick up my car too. Got to the cafe, ordered a hot chocolate, I don't like coffee or tea variants, and got a breakfast sandwich. Ate it, felt amazing, spent some time just looking outside, again, perfect day. Swung by the park, picked up my car and got home. I found out that I had left my phone inside my car, huge relief as I thought that I had lost it. Anyway, I place my phone on charge and I'm making myself some juice when my phone turns on. I peek over absent-mindedly. Y'all, I was bombarded with missed calls and text messages from everyone in my group circle, all asking if I was okay and that they were worried, and to not worry about those bastards. Like, okay. I assumed they got worried because I slipped away and drove off. I'd be worried too. But I had some messages in my phone from a contact I didn't recognize at all. Contact was listed as hubby with a heart, and they were all a string of pleas throughout the night asking if I was okay and that he loved me and was sorry. I was so confused. I did not recognize this at all, like, nothing. I didn't even give it a glance because I thought it was some drunk guy I flirted with last night and went to text one of my closest friends that I was okay. I'll post the message here. Hey Jess, I'm all okay. Thanks for the great night. Sorry I slipped away, I don't even remember leaving, LOL. Sorry if I gave any of you guys a scare. Had some breakfast and I'm nursing my poor hangover, crying emoji, how are you? So, I get a reply almost instantly, a very long and emotional one, which I'll post too. We were all so worried. How could you just go missing in action on us like that? Are you okay? Are you at your apartment? I'll come over. I can't even imagine how distraught you are right now, was what she said. Now, I laughed a little, albeit I was confused. What was there to be distraught about? So this launched a very long back and forth conversation, me not fully understanding, her thinking I'm just trying to be strong, all things considered. When I finally just get her to say what I should be so upset about, I just laugh. I thought it was the funniest thing. I assumed she was trying to make a joke or something. Apparently, I went to go find my husband because he had been gone for a while, and found him kissing my best friend. Now, obviously this sounds ridiculous. It's like every cliche in the book. Again, as far as I know I don't have a husband, and I have no recollection of this best friend she talked about either. So I didn't believe. But the more we talked, the more worried I got. When she moved it into the main GC and they started talking too, the more worried I got. And when they finally sent me pictures of me and my so-called husband and best friend, yeah, I freaked out. Now this GC actually has them both in it. So when they started responding to, acting worried and concerned, telling me I should go to the hospital, I did just that. I didn't know if I was being gaslit or if I was just actually not remembering them, but they freaked me out enough to go straight there. This started a pretty grueling couple of days. They did every test possible, I think, or I feel like, given how many damn times they had me moved. I had brain scans to rule out tumors, blood works to see if any substances could have caused it, everything. But no matter what test they did, it came back fine. I eventually got seen by a psychiatrist who determined that I had some dissociative disorder, given how the only things I don't remember are my husband and best friend. His understanding was that it must have been too emotionally distressing what happened that night, and so I just shut down any thought of them altogether. Now, I don't want to dispute what a professional says, especially since everyone is saying that these two have been in my lives for decades. But like, there's literally no recollection at all. I went on my phone and looked through my gallery. I saw pictures of us three together. We all look super close, but I remember taking those photos by myself. Like, specifically by myself. It's just a pain, honestly. So I kept my friends updated throughout all of this, but not those other two. Just because I don't have any emotional attachments to them, so I didn't see the need to. But they forwarded it to them regardless, a bit of a dick move, but I met up with my friends first, just separate from those two, so I could get a picture of what happened that night and in general regarding my history with them both. So I have a group of 5 really close friends. We've all been friends since high school first year, I can remember that clearly. But according to them, my husband was a part of the group too, and that we were friends for years before we started dating. My best friend has been my friend since we were in diapers. Our parents were childhood friends. We did everything together and we both merged into their friend group together. So, just for context, I'm 29F, husband is 29M and best friend is 28F, although thinking about it, our birthdays are a month-ish apart, so that hoe is almost 29. So, according to my friends, me and my husband got together at 17, got married at 24 and have been happy ever since. They referred to us as a picturesque couple, which I don't know about that, all things considered. So they even showed photos of my wedding, which was wild because I remember that day vividly, but not as my wedding. So I asked about that night in detail, and they explained. I didn't drink during the party. If anything, I had one and called it there. My words were, I want to remember this day, so I'm not going to drink, which is so ironic all things considered, but weird because I remembered having more than one, which they were adamant that I didn't. So, an amnesiac's word over theirs basically. I came with my husband. The night was going great. He gifted me a lovely sapphire necklace I had been wanting, that I remember taking off when I got home and being all, oh, this is nice, I wonder where I got it from. About a few hours into the party, once everyone had gotten more tipsy, around 10 p.m. I noticed they weren't with the main group in the living room. I made a comment to Isabel, a friend, 28F, that I'll go look for them, and that I went out the back. They heard me yelling and sobbing a couple of minutes later, and saw me yelling at them both. They can't tell me what happened or what I saw since they weren't there to witness the beginning, and because I obviously don't remember. But that I kept yelling, how could you do this to me? I thought you loved me. Which hurt to hear. Like, I know that was me going through it, but I just physically can't imagine what it would be like, especially since I was supposedly so close to them. My best friend shouted about them being in love and that she was sorry but had to follow her heart like some dramatic ass Romeo and Juliet. My husband apparently just kept apologizing, saying that he didn't want it to come out like this, but that I just threw my wedding ring at him and left. Friends said they alternated between stopping me and yelling at them, and that I grabbed my car keys and left before I could really do anything. Anything after that is a mystery since it was just me, but honestly, all things considered, this is my first opinion of them both, my husband and best friend who I had supposedly loved more than anything. Objectively, as a stranger's opinion, are people. And I do not want to associate with them, period. A day later my husband came to our apartment. Until I found out I had a husband, I thought that it was mine alone, but now looking back, there's photos of us everywhere, so I really do not know how I missed all of them in the morning, and he wanted to talk. Now, I have no care for this man, he cute or whatever, but in my mind he was a husband to the old me, so that we have no ties currently. I let him in since I thought we could talk about logistics, divorce, separation of assets, all of it? But nope, he started off by talking about how we could save the marriage and that he wanted to be a better husband and look after me during this tough time. Like, TF? The audacity? As if he isn't just a stranger in my eyes, so I just laughed when he said that. I told him quite honestly that we had no marriage to save. That the woman he married doesn't exist because I don't know him, like at all. He was crying, saying that my memory will come back eventually and that we can work towards it, and I just replied saying that I don't want it to come back, and that this is the best outcome. Honestly, I thought he'd be overjoyed. He could be with the woman he wanted for so long and I could be single, but no, he was just trembling, weeping, and saying he was sorry. A bit dramatic. I just quite bluntly didn't care, and so moved to the kitchen to make myself a drink while he was crying. That was around 2 weeks ago. He's been coming over at times to get his things, but he always ends up trying to reminisce and get my memory working again. He showed me photos of a road trip we went on, talking about how much fun we had. But I remember going on that trip by myself, which is quite insane that the mind could block out someone that much. I made him cry again when he showed me photos from our wedding, talking about how beautiful and joyous the day was, and in the picture I saw the way I was looking at him and it just made me sick, truthfully. I looked so smitten, so goddamn in love, and it brought back a bit of emotion towards everything, like my heart hurt for something I had no memory over, which freaked me out a little, so I just said, wow, I've never seen myself look at someone like that before, I must have really liked you, casually, and he started sobbing again, saying he was sorry. I've been talking to a lawyer to get things started for a divorce. Best friend hasn't reached out once, probably for the best since I despise her at the moment, and husband has just been annoying the out of me talking about reconciliation, so I dumped his clothes outside and told him to pick his up and stop coming over. Friends want me to reconcile with them, which is insane in my eyes and super sus. I'm quite honestly trying to make decisions that no one agrees with and it's pissing me off a little. Everyone has mentioned that my personality has changed a bit, which, like, yeah? Memory loss? So they've been using that under the pretense of wanting me to slow down. I've been seeing a therapist for my dissociative memory loss, and he said that since it was most likely triggered by my emotional trauma, there's a chance it might come back and I'll remember everything suddenly. In his words, a time bomb, so I'm wanting to get this divorce done ASAP before it does, because I just know that I'll be too emotionally destroyed when it happens to go through with it. I mean, I've known these people for most of my life, I just know that the hurt I'll feel will be insane. Why are they trying so hard? It's just going to be better in the long run to cut ties here. Husband has been trying to talk about his infidelity. How it started, what happened. But I shut him down. I see no reason to talk about it since I do not care, if that makes sense. Anyway, sorry for the long post. I probably left out a done since it's a whack-ass situation, but here. I just wanted to ask, am I crazy? Like, is it weird of me to be pushing for divorce so much given my memory situation? It just seems like the better option. They can go be together and I'll live my life. But my husband and friends don't want that and want me to reconcile. Don't know about best friend, but still. It's weird, right, that they're pushing for it so hard? Comment. It's got something to do with the alcohol. I promise. I had a similar situation, not quite so extreme or traumatic. But there was a person in my friend group who is now a black hole in my brain. Even memories I have that involved her, I've replaced her with other people in my head. I have no idea why. We weren't super close, but I apparently knew her for years. One day she came around acting all familiar with me, and like soon as she left the room I asked my other friends who this chick was. They thought I was joking. I wasn't. After she left, they're telling me all these stories about times we'd hung out. I remember almost all of them. But not her. I legitimately was afraid that maybe I'd gotten plastered, assaulted her and somehow blocked that out, not because I thought that's something I was capable of, but because I couldn't think of anything else that'd be so horrible that my brain would purge it and fill in the gaps with false memories. But the last time I'd seen her had been a few days before. Yes, I drank way too much, but was with my girlfriend at the time all night, knocked out early, and she was mostly out back getting high with her sister. Again, I remember this night. I remember the sister. I do not remember this girl. The common denominator here? At the time I was a blackout drunk. You make it sound like you're blacking out and wandering off isn't exactly unusual. You probably do have some sort of trauma dissociation type thing going on, maybe I do too, but I have no clue what it would be, but that Swiss cheeses your brain. Your attitude kinda seems to be like, well, those two on principle, but I don't remember, so I don't really care that much. But there's something serious going on. Don't take it lightly. For your reaction to be that extreme, blocking out your memory of an entire marriage, I wonder if it might have triggered the memory of a previous trauma you also repressed. I would suggest EMDR. It's been proven to help with PTSD and may help you figure out what's really going on. EMDR sounds weird, but it works. And if it's going to work, it will be fast, a dozen sessions or so, my therapist said. Worked for me in 5. Pandemic came along, and I never finished it, but felt like I got the answers I needed. The other thing is whether you're ready to handle the answers. The brain protects us by blocking out traumatic memories. If you're not ready, you won't be able to remember. It took a long time for me to uncover mine. Funny how he's sorry now that he got caught. It didn't shut it down before it happened. It must have been going on for a while for your friend to be in love. If he truly loved you, then it would have never happened. If they are true friends, they would be backing you and wanting someone to forgive a cheater. They wouldn't have it happen to them. I bet your husband and your friend ends up together. Just ask when it happens why he wanted to reconcile if he still wanted to be with her. Okay, those friends suck, because let's be real, if you didn't lose your memories, you would probably be stuck in bed, unable to eat, crying non-stop, etc. It's probably best to have him explain now before any emotions plus memories come. I'm away, it will be less of a blow because you will also have time to process with your therapist. Also make him show you his phone. What do you friends have to say about your ex-BF being completely radio silence? Like WTF, that also tells me that it wasn't a one-time moment of weakness. Like, come on. What's she telling them? Personally, I would have both of them tell you the truth individually and compare. But I would hear his story first and then be chaotic and call her out in a way that will make her react plus throw the truth at you. Do the EDMR treatments to see if they will help. Consider having your friend record the meeting. If the pressure gets bad, are you willing to move away to get a fresh start somewhere else? How hard would it be to find a new job in a different city? Best would be if your current job has an office in another city you can transfer to and just leave this all behind. If your family is all in the area where you are now, then I suggest at least 2 to 3 HR drive away. That's close enough to drive for a weekend and far enough to discourage someone driving to see you after a regular workday.